Is this race really to rescue the soul of the NPP, as Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is saying?
Well, I think that there are some big positives and smaller positives from the whole process.
Okay.
The big positive is that without this contest in January, the NPP could not have been able to marshal itself together with such significant enthusiasm of delegates and supporters of the party boldly pouring out into the streets in the middle of Accra and chanting NPP slogans in the manner that they are doing so confidently. Because the defeat of 2024 was heavy and is still, pushing down the neck of many NPP people who are still recovering. So it is kudos to the National Council and the National Executive that made the decision that to sort of revive the NPP's excitement at the base, it is important to run a National Delegates Congress to choose a presidential candidate so early, unprecedented in the history of the party since 1992. So that's a big positive. You saw what happened since Tuesday, and today the NPP is leading the news all over. I'm worried that the Ghanaian Times is not leading the same story on its front page. Perhaps they have another story, but really, this looks like the story the NPP is taking center stage this way. If the NPP uses this platform to market itself properly,
to be fair to the Ghanaian Times, I'm the most prepared candidate for NPP Flagbearer Race.
You read something and said they didn't use it. The newspaper didn't use it.
I skipped it.
You skipped it. Okay. I would have been surprised.
Yes, I'm the most prepared candidate.
Okay, so the Ghanaian Times has it as well. That means all the newspapers have it.
Yes.
Now, the NPP has the platform, and it might be useful. It behooves them to use this platform to market and re-energize the Ghanaian public about the excitement of the NPP. Because what the NPP needs, as we've always said, to be able to put themselves together and look formidable for the 2028 election is one essential commodity, which is unity. And you may have heard most of the candidates preach unity. And unity is important because if you are going for a Congress like this, which is not a Congress that has one person who is going to win 80%, then what you need more than anything else is unity.
Okay.
And it's a very difficult contest. The NPP may be fortunate that they may have a bit of time because this is earlier. That's part of the reason. That's one of those arguments that underpin the reason that let's do an early Congress, because you're going to have problems with a Congress like this. The government has lost election. There's blame game. There's a lot going on. You're in opposition. You need to spend more time raising money and all of that. So have the Congress early so we have time to negotiate out all of these things, cut deals, make political alliances, and be ready for the opponent. The advantage the NPP is also going to have is that they're going to have a presidential candidate by February. NPP have a presidential candidate already on the ballot in 2028, all things being equal. The NDC doesn't have somebody on the ballot. The NPP has somebody on the ballot. So if you are an interest group, you're a market woman, you are a trader, you're a nurse, you're a teacher, and you have certain policy objectives that you do not find being expressed in this government, you have somebody to go to and go and talk to him and say that, Chief, do you think that you can do this when you become president? If that conversation holds, you are going to form an alliance with that person before the NDC have their candidate. And that is what part of the things that hurt the NDC coming into the 2024 election. Because by 2022, in fact, even immediately the 2020 election ended, every interest group holder knew that John Mahama would be the candidate for the next election, given the performance of 2020. So the NDC could really not have even gone to any Congress. Now, such people who are now saying that John Mahama is definitely on the ballot in 2024, who is going to be on the ballot for the NPP? Is it going to be Alan Kyerematen? Is it going to be Muhammadu Bawumia? There are heard rumors that Kennedy Japan was also going to run. So for the interest group holder, that is an uncertain situation. The variables are too many. Here is the opposition leader. He's settled. He's going to be on the ballot. So if I have a problem, I'm a policeman, I'm a teacher, I'm a this, I'm a that, and I can see difficulty, I go to him and I say, Mr. President, if you become president again, are you willing to do this and that and that and that? That is why we heard in corridors of power in many circles in 2023-24, people saying that John Mahama has changed. John Mahama has changed. The guy is a new guy. John Mahama has changed. Now, they were saying that because they had engaged with him because he's on the ballot and he has a lot of time to engage people. So that's an advantage that accrues to the NPP, that whoever wins the election has that time to engage with people and for people to have trust and confidence in him whilst they wait for the NDC to elect. If the NDC were to go to Congress in December 2027 and elect a candidate, they have 1 year before the election. By that time, if the NPP candidate has been working hard, he would have secured all of these alliances with all of these different interest groups. So that's another positive. Then if you come to the contest itself, as you heard most of them speak, and I am happy about something that happened yesterday. As soon as Dr. Bawumia's presentation began, there was a lot of disquiet in the Kennedy Japan camp. So people were asking, what is happening? They were very angry, the communication group. And they said the party is using the official Facebook page to stream Dr. Bawumia's processes on social media. They were very upset. And then I saw on a platform, Nana B, the NPP national organizer, Nana Bawumia, apologized to them and said that it is not with them, and they are taking it off immediately. I noticed that, and I said, oh, this looks very interesting. So it gives me the sense that everyone important in the NPP wants this contest to go, as Kennedy Japan said, fairly, and it has to be very fair. And nobody should be seen to be playing any role to give an advantage to anyone. And I noticed that yesterday about this social media issue. So yes, it's going to be tight. There's going to be a lot of issues, but they would have to manage it in a way that helps, because the advantages after far outweigh any real disadvantages that come with competition. I don't know whether the election is going to be a landslide for any candidate. It doesn't really look like that. People even are predicting that the election may go into a runoff, and so alliances are beginning to form. But I like one thing that also shows up at the close of the nomination, that the NPP had gone to Congress to remove an article which said that there has to be only 5 presidential candidates, and anytime there are more than 5 presidential candidates, there will be a superdelegates that will sit and reduce the candidates just to 5. This article was put in as a result of the 2007 contest that had 17 people, and Honorable Suhini and his friends went to many meals on the 17 and trumpeted it and bashed it, and was part of the reason why the NPP lost the 2008 election, the propaganda from the 17. Well, I didn't agree, but there were 17 candidates. So the NPP noticed that and said, let's change it. The NPP went to Congress recently and said, let's go back to status quo. Let's remove the super delegates and deal with it. What this contest has showed, that the NPP has really grown in maturity, and that they did not need a regulation to leave the candidature at the best 5. That excites me very much. That's when everyone thought that removing this article will now bring 100 people into the contest. And we heard at the beginning, Boache Jacko is running, Joe Garte, I spoke to him, he told me he's running, all of that. Conversations have gone on, alliances have been struck. And so at the close of poll, you still have the 5 that the NPP historically needed to negotiate for and make rules and regulations to achieve. Now, maturity has come in, and they do not need rules and regulations to legislate a certain 5.
All right.
I am hoping that the same maturity will carry on through the process in September, in October, in November, and then finally in December to elect a presidential candidate. Whoever is elected will be able to achieve the unity the NPP needs to be formidable. The unity doesn't even mean NPP is going to win 2028. They have to be formidable. And to be right now, the NPP is not formidable against the NDC because you are coming from a 41%. But for the NPP to be formidable and pick up its 49, 48%, they need to keep that maturity through the process. Have fairness, which is very, very important. The fairness must come. Everyone must see the process is fair. And then thereafter, they can achieve unity and be formidable for the election.
And also, can you please look at the messaging bits for me? I mean, I already have 41% in my bag. I only need 9%, you know. The accusations, counter accusations about, you know, where one comes from and which religious faith he ascribes to and so on. I mean, can you look at the messaging bit of the campaign for me? Even as you're making a general comment about how things are panning out so far.
Yeah, I will come there. But, I was just intrigued by how Paul was checking on the headlines, and I was wondering if he's as Kojo Chumbuafo acts in charge of some.
No, I'm not in charge of it. No, I'm not. I'm not
the cleanup of.
I'm in charge of Good Evening Ghana. That's what I do.
Because you didn't answer Kojo, and so when you were particular about which paper carried the advert stories.
No, the Times. When you read the text, the Times didn't carry it, and I was worried that this is a major story. The graphic carries on its front page. Why is the Times omitting it?
Okay,
because a state-owned newspaper.
I just wanted you
and it has an obligation to be fair.
You are not playing any role for any
of the candidates. Playing, it would have been announced. I'm not playing.
Not all roles are announced. You and I.
Oh no, I don't have a role.
Especially
to play,
in this campaigns when you offer media advice. I mean, you are not really announced.
No, I'm not. I'm not offering media advice.
You are not working with the Bawumia.
I was just concerned that a state-owned newspaper.
Yeah, but your relationship with Samira, I mean, if you do that, and Bawumia, I mean, if you do that, who is going to? I mean, I mean, Nana, if you offer media support, and Nana Akufo-Addo is one of your mentors, and he's a direct person.
Offering media support, I can offer to Kwabena Japan. I can offer to anyone.
And I think I saw somebody like you at Kwabena Japan.
Well, Kwabena Japan is my good friend. Everyone knows that. So I'm very happy about the ambition that he takes upon himself.
Yes, but you are not offering any support.
Unless you mean informal.
It's part of it. I mean, you see, I want to
informal.
You see, I admire you, and I have admired Paul for a very long time.
Unless you mean informal.
In our journalistic career, I mean, he was one of the people that we admired working with and looked up to. So I want to sometimes understand, for example, when you are on Good Evening Ghana, how to interpret what happens, based on the answers that I get from here. I want to know. That's what I'm asking. Because I know that a lot of things will happen on Good Evening Ghana. So I want to be able to interpret.
Will happen or has happened?
Will happen.
Relating to the NPP contest.
The NPP contest, of course.
Oh, okay. If you look at yesterday's Good Evening Ghana, for instance, we showed the video of all the candidates who attended.
When you started with Corinthians and all that.
That's an earlier one.
Yeah, you were playing.
I played it back. Yes. So we did we gave platform to all the candidates. My concern about the times, I think I have to ground this for the purpose of the record. The Supreme Court in NPP and GBC gave a ruling that state-owned newspaper have an obligation to give equal and fair treatment to all political parties.
Right.
The NPP had done this event yesterday, and it required publication. Right. The Graphic, which is a state-owned newspaper, is leading on it. All private newspapers are leading on it. If it turns out that the Times didn't publish it at all, I think there's a legitimate question.
I'm genuinely concerned. I'm genuinely concerned.
Yes,
I'm not being mischievous.
Yes.
I mean, given your relationships with all these people, I mean, if they don't know where you stand with them, don't you think that it's
this is an extraneous disconcerting. But it's not every NPP person. It's not every NPP person. Everyone who wishes the NPP
this is
well.
NPP politics.
Yes,
Paul is part of it. You understand? He's part of the whole conversation. So
you're asking me whether I'm for one candidate and against another?
Not against, but you can be for, not necessarily be against.
But once you are for one candidate in a contest, you're against another.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. You see, if you are for one candidate, it does not necessarily mean you are against the other. I mean, if that person wins, you are not going to split heads over it. But maybe given the circumstances, you just think that associating with this particular candidate at this point in time is better.
But
it doesn't mean that you are against.
There are also NPP people who are just interested in the contest being fair and a leader elected.
So you are part of that.
I'm more inclined towards that.
Okay. So you will support the process of fairness, and
I will support the process of the NPP winning from this process. NPP must win from this election and become a formidable alternative before the 2028 election.
And then after that, you can. Anyway,
get on with the more substantive issue with